The Vietnamese market continued to perform very well after a brief correction in October. Vietnam is probably still the best bet on a global economic recovery in 2021. Also, the main index, VNI, closed above 1,000 level for the first time since November 2019. The index still trades 17% below its all-time high from early 2018 and almost unchanged compared to 3 years ago. We are very happy to report a new all-time high in our AFC Vietnam Fund of an NAV of 2028 according to internal calculations, which makes a plus 7% performance in November and plus 102.7% since inception. We were entering a few new positions in November, and for the first time we were taking into account in our investment process ESG criteria. ESG stands E for environmental, S for social, and G for governance. This is certainly something which we will continue to do, and we'll also review our whole portfolio to see if our companies are scoring sufficiently high if in regards to ESG criteria. What else happened? There was an interesting survey from Bank of America among all the fund managers which they serve, and it showed that emerging markets are expected to be the biggest winner next year. Probably exactly the same fund managers which are so bullish now on emerging markets were probably the sellers in 2019 and 2020, where we saw huge outflows out of emerging markets. So I guess there's a lot of buying to be done in the months to come, and that will hopefully also benefit Vietnam with some money inflows. If I look at our portfolio, the valuations are still very, very attractive if I compare them to when we started our fund 7 years ago. It actually trades at around 50% discount to local markets and an astonishing 70% discount to markets such as the US, Europe, or Japan. Biden's presidency is expected to be positive for the Vietnamese stock market. I mean, on one hand, the USA is potentially rejoining the TPP, which is now called CPTPP. So TPP was the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, where the US was quite instrumental in getting that agreement off the ground. But then as soon as Trump administration came in, they actually stopped the whole process. And now with Biden, potentially they are interested in rejoining the CPTPP. But very interestingly enough, last week, or actually 2 weeks ago, Xi Jinping from China mentioned in a press conference that also China is considering joining the CPTPP. They obviously don't want to be left out when it comes to trade in Asia and around the globe. But probably the biggest news was on November 15th when the RCEP was signed. RCEP is the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which consists of 15 economies: China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, Thailand, and of course Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Brunei. RCEP is the biggest free trade agreement in the world, ever. This is a big deal. It is the world's biggest free trade agreement, removing up to 90% of tariffs among these 15 economies, obviously tariffs for trade. And it involves a population of 2.2 billion people with a combined GDP worth of 26 trillion US dollar, 30% of the global economy, and 40% of global manufacturing. So it is really huge. So with Biden, what can we expect? Most likely there will be a less volatile relationship in the Asian political landscape under the Biden administration, and we expect that capital flows into Vietnamese stock market could increase strongly. So we are therefore obviously quite optimistic for 2021 and its outlook. We never forecast how well the stock market will perform next year, but we think we wouldn't be actually surprised if we would see a new all-time high in the VNI. So, well, this is all from me. I will be talking to you again next month. I wish you all a great week and speak to you soon. Bye bye.